Right, find the value of x for the right triangle. So you need to know everything from that previous podcast about, like, you need to know everything about 45 degree, 30 degree, and 60 degree. Anytime that comes up, cosine of any of these, sine, tangent, even the other ones, cosecant of 45, you'll be able to figure it out. Okay, so therefore, here's how we set this up. Look what they give. They give 30 degrees is here, which means that's your theta. Theta equals 30. They give the 8, which is, you know, the hypotenuse. And they give x, which, how does it correspond with the 30? That's how you know if it's opposite. Is it opposite? Is it adjacent? You can tell by, oh, that is next to the 30, which means that's the adjacent. And this is the hypotenuse. So what links this degree, adjacent, and hypotenuse together? Well, cosine, right? Cosine is adjacent hypotenuse. So cosine of 30, no longer theta, we know theta, it's 30, equals adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse, which is 8. Solve for x. So times this side by 8, that's gone. Times this side by 8. And you get x is equal to 8 times the cosine of 30. Now, once again, if you use your calculators, I'll mark it wrong if you give me a decimal. Anytime you do a 30, 60, or 45. So off to the side, you can draw your little triangle and say, okay, if this is 30, and this is 60, and this is 90, so opposite 30 is 1, 60, that's square root of 3, and that's 2. Cosine of 30, so that means adjacent to 30 is square root of 3, square root of 3 over hypotenuse to 30 is 2, so square root of 3 over 2. Cosine of 30 is exactly, this is an exact answer. Now you got to simplify a bit. 8 over 1 times this. 2 and 8 cancel. That's 4 and 1. 4 roots of 3 is left over. 4 times root of 3 equals x. That is the exact answer that I want. Once again, don't give me a decimal. Okay, so know all of these. Okay, here we go. Alright, now you have everything you need to know to solve triangles. So what does it mean to solve a triangle? That means find everything that's missing. Okay? So what are we missing here? We don't know angle B. We don't know little a here, how long the side A is. We don't know the C. We don't know the hypotenuse. Alright, so we're finding those three things. Everything else is given. This is 28, this is 90, this side's 15. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's go with B first. Angle B, that's easy. 90 plus 28 plus x equals 180, right? All the angles add up to 180, so 180 minus these two right here is 62 degrees. Next, how do you find little a here? So you got this. It all depends on your given. You got 28 degrees, you got 15 this side is, and you got a. So you got to think, should I use sine, cosine, or tangent? Well, what do you have compared with the 28? You have right across from it, which is opposite. So opposite, and what do you have? You have adjacent. Those two, opposite and adjacent, deal with tangent. So that's what I'm going to write, a tangent equation. Tangent of an angle, which in this case is 28, is equal to, let's see, opposite, which is a, you don't know, over adjacent, which is 15. This is like the other one, only 28 degrees is not, you probably can't do that in your head. So therefore we're going to use our calculators for this one. So therefore, here we go. Get a by itself, multiply by 15, multiply by 15. So type this in your calculator, 15 times tangent of 28. Make sure you keep the angle in parentheses or you're going to get some weird answers. So a equals, type this in, and you should get 7.98, I believe. 7.98 approximately. So, yeah, that's right. Now, you get this as an answer. Now, some of you aren't getting that answer. I need you to try this because you're probably in the wrong mode if you don't get this answer. Here's what I want you to do. Go to your calculator and hit the mode button at the top left-hand corner. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but hit mode up here. And you'll see you'll see radian or degree in here. Radian or degree. You have to choose degree because it says 28 of tangent of 28 degrees. Now later we're going to deal with radians the next couple sections. So make sure you're in degree mode when you type this in. If you're not, I've seen people mess up tests and quizzes just because they're in wrong mode. So don't let that be you. Here we go. A is 7.98. Now next, last thing we need to find, so 7.98 is C. How do you find C? Well, we have B, we have A, you can find C, but you don't want to use A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Why? Because this is an approximation. You never want to put an approximation to find an exact answer, to find the best answer. So you just go based on what's given. You're given 28 degrees. You're given 15. And you want C. What trig function does this, all based on this angle? Well, this is adjacent, and this is hypotenuse. Which one deals with adjacent hypotenuse? That's cosine, right? So you got cosine of 28 is equal to adjacent 15 over hypotenuse, which is C. You can multiply by C on both sides, and then you could divide by cosine 28, and that cancels out. Divide, so that cancels, and you divide by cosine 28. You're left with C equals 15 divided by cosine of 28 degrees. Close the parentheses on that. Hit enter. C equals approximately, I believe it's 16.99 if we're rounded to 2 decimals. 16.99. Okay, so C is approximately 16.99. There you go. This is solving a triangle, finding everything that's missing. Okay.